I love it when I time this right. It's like 7 o'clock right now. All right, we're going to send them down to pregame. I'm going to talk to you for a second while they get ready. They're going to catch their breath, maybe get a sip of water, get their stuff ready. Coming to the 50. Well, hi, folks. I'm Marty Corral. I'm the band director here. While they get set up, I just wanted to say thanks for coming. It's actually a perfect night for this. There's a little bit of overcast that way. The sun isn't being too bad. I think maybe Tuesday or Wednesday was a little rough temperature-wise, but today we're doing really well. So what we're going to do is give you our preview tonight. So those of you that may be new to this moment, here's what this is. It's kind of like our rough draft. It's everything we've got ready up to this point. It's not Friday night of football yet. We've got another week to polish. We just want to show you what all we've accomplished in the last 2 weeks, and it's frankly incredible. The amount of work that has gone into what you're about to see kind of blows my mind. We've been talking to the kids all week about this, and their work ethic, their focus, their attitudes are exactly where any teacher would want their students to be. These guys are fantastic. So as they go over there, we'll talk about our pregame. This is what we'll do right before every football game. We'll make our entrance. You'll get to hear our pep song. We'll go right into the Star Spangled Banner following that. You'll get to see us do a drill with our Sweet 16 dancing to Hang On Sloopy. You'll hear our alma mater, and then we'll show you how we get off the field for the football team to head down the tunnel. So that's going to be our first preview, and they'll be ready in just a second. You'll hear when they're ready. So thanks again for coming, and I'll catch up with you again after the pregame. make sure we're off before the clock hits 0. I don't know if that's ever been a problem, but we always make sure. So would you believe last week, Tuesday, we did a little music rehearsal in the band room at 8:30, and at 9:30, I passed out that drill. Then we came to the stadium, and we took an hour off for lunch, and by 4 o'clock, they were marching and playing that one. That's how good these kids are. So. So they're going to fall out. We've actually got, somehow, 2 shows ready already that we can play from top to bottom. And so we're going to do them both for you today. We've got a unique season ahead where we've got 2 home games in a row. So I was like, well, we're not going to slack off just because they're in a row. We're going to learn both. So we've got 2 shows ready to go. They're going to grab some water, and then they're going to head over to show 2, except for apparently Emmerich. He doesn't need any water. So just to check, how many of you in the crowd are Ashland High School band alumni? Yeah, you can't ever be. No. And how many of you are some sort of band alumni? Yeah, I love that. And how many of you are former parents of band members? So you're like band alumni parent, and you just came. Yeah, I love that. And how many of you are just here because your kid's on the field, or you love band, or you love Ashland, or you love all those things all together? Alright, I kept track of who did not raise their hand, just me. Okay, so we're going to do our second show, which they didn't get a single page for until Tuesday. Like this Tuesday. They're going to play this entire show top to bottom. 3 tunes, the Swedes are going to dance, and I'm calling this the Disaster Show. Not because it's going to fall apart and we're a big disaster, not because of that. Because our first tune is called Rock You Like a Hurricane, great chart from the 80s. So our first disaster is the hurricane. Our Sweet 16 are going to dance to the Britney Spears tune Toxic, because that's a relationship disaster. And then we're going to close it out with Pompeii. So, historical disaster for me. I also think it's worth noting what's interesting about this band this year, for the first time ever, which should also be a disaster, and isn't, we have students both in the band and the Sweet 16 as freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors that have never been in band before, ever. And I don't mean like, okay, freshmen just got to high school. I mean, we have some freshmen that joined band this year. We have a senior that joined band this year. What I love is that when I work with the admin and my staff, that they're always willing to just trust that I will get them caught up and get them part of the group. So if you think about that, not only is like a quarter of the band freshmen, we've got another 10 out there that have never learned which foot is right or left until I taught them like a week ago. And that's really impressive. So that's not possible without some great kids. But on top of that, we also have some amazing parents, and I know one or more of them are going to come out now and say something amazing. So who's coming out? Oh, it's Tara.
Hi, my name is Tara. I'm with the band Boosters. I just want to thank you all for coming here, tell you a little bit about what the band Boosters does as a program. We're just here to support the band. Anything that we can do to make all of this happen, help them out, all that kind of stuff. So we do things like help them with uniforms, we help them feed them, when they're going on all these trips because they get really hungry and they really appreciate when we feed them and give them water and things like that. We also really try to help them with trips that they plan, which there's a really big one coming up in the spring. I feel like most of you have heard about it, but the band is going to Walt Disney World. So, yay! Woo-hoo. That's all I really have to say, other than we do have our elite cards sales going on right now. Our kids have done so well with these. You guys have done amazing. You blew my mind. We usually do not sell very well. We have sold like 175-ish pre-sale. So great job. Thank you guys so much. I told the kids, if you sold 5 cards during band camp, you could come to my house and have a party. Apparently I didn't tell my husband that until tonight. I don't know where Billy's at. Sorry, I love you so much. So I thought I would have like 5 kids. I do not. There's like 30. So good job, guys. You're gonna come to my house for a party. I think it's gonna be Sunday night. So I will send out more details about that. That's all I got.
Thank you, Tara. Okay, so without any further ado, this is our disaster show. And remember, this is the show that we're gonna have ready for 2 more weeks. And I'm only saying that because I'm blown away that we're doing this show for you right now. We passed out the drills on Tuesday. The Sweeties didn't even learn the rest of their dance until yesterday. And we're like, let's just do it. So they pushed through it. This is gonna be pretty great. When you hear that first note, you better be clapping, you better be on your feet. And it better be genuine. Don't do it because I said so. But when you hear that first note, when she counts them off, your wigs are gonna go up. It's gonna be amazing. Do it! I mean, I charge you to find any high school band in the vicinity that can pull that off in 4 days, after already learning pregame, after already learning another show that you're about to see. They started that Tuesday. So I just can't wait all the little polish and the tweaking that's going to happen between now and 2 weeks from now when we actually do that here on a Friday night at the football game. Okay, so they're going to get some water because they need it. Let's see, did Emmerich just go back? He did. Okay. Emmerich doesn't drink. He doesn't drink any water. I'm going to call a couple more of our boosters to talk a little bit about some of the other opportunities while they're getting set. We got Lynette.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Lynette, and I just wanted to update everybody about the fundraisers. As you all know, we have the Elite Card going on. Those orders were turned in tonight. Thank you so much for the support with those. Cards are $25, keychains $25, or you can get the combo for $40, and that's the keychain and the card. So we also have an online store. If you stop over to the community room afterwards, there's a QR code that you can scan. And if you want to send that to your family and friends out of town, that's another way that you can support the band. Just make sure they put the name of the band member or sweetie on there so they get credit for their Disney trip. Tomorrow, don't forget tomorrow at Chipotle is our fundraiser that our band and sweeties will receive 25% of all of our sales. If you want to grab dinner, let Chipotle do the cooking. It's 4 to 8 p.m. tomorrow night, so that's a great way also to tell people to come eat and receive the credit for that. So the flyer is also in the community room, or you can show it on your phone, or you can order online with that code that's on the flyer. And just as a reminder, spirit wear, I have my new shirt on tonight. So AU is our spirit wear design company, and also donates back 20% to our band and sweeties. So make sure you go get your spirit wear before next Friday night. And then coming up, just some reminders. We have a Dine to Donate at BW3 is coming up in September. We have a popcorn fundraiser that will get information out to everybody in October. And then in November, we'll do a Pay the Day calendar again this year. So, one last thing. Dave is all the way at the top. So Dave is our treasurer. If you ever need to pay your band fees, so please get those paid, or hand in any money, Dave is the one that handles all that. Okay, so if you have anything to give him tonight, you can. And I think that's all I have. I just want to express my appreciation to all the parents, family, all the businesses, all the community. It takes a lot to get all these kids where they need to go, to feed them, and just to support them. So I just want to say thank you for all that. Here's Julie.
Hi, I am Julie, and I'm going to talk tonight a little bit about all the messages that hopefully you've been receiving. All right, so Parent Square is our new communication tool this year. If you are not receiving messages through Parent Square, please see me. I'll be the lady with the yellow clipboard in the community room after. And what we want to make sure is everyone has a chance to sign up to work in our concession stands. We run both the field house stand and the main gate concession stand every Friday night. It takes over 40 volunteers to fully staff those stands. So please sign up. Each family, if you could sign up for just one spot, we cover all of the responsibility, even with 6 home games this year. And you might be asking, well, why? Well, when you work in the concession stand, you earn credits. And then when our concession stands earn profit, we turn those credits into money in your child's trip account. So it's an easy way to fundraise. If you're going to Disney this year, that works out well. And if you're not, but you might be headed on the next trip in 2 years, you can start building that fund now. Once again, if you're not receiving our emails or Parent Square messages, see me after. And also, I would encourage you to join our Ashland Band Parents Facebook page. That's where you'll get reminders about the bus leave times. any new opportunities that pop up throughout the year. And also feel free to follow the Ashland Arrows Band. All right, we want to make sure that all our alumni in the audience hopefully will join us for homecoming. And even if you're not an Ashland alumni, please continue joining the band on the field. So if you have an instrument or you need to borrow an instrument, let Mr. Kroll know by filling out that form. Once again, thank you for our directors and the incredible work that they do with our students, and for the very supportive community that makes all of this possible. Mr. Kroll?
Wanted to take just a second to acknowledge our Sweet 16, which, I mean, my goodness, they learned that yesterday. That was pretty cool. Who in our crowd is a Sweet 16 alumni? I know I saw some. Yeah. I saw alumni director, we'll call them director emeritus because it sounds fancier. In the crowd, we got one down there. So Melissa Merkel and Zoe Jenkins are what keep them in line, literally, like, you know, wonderful. Also, it probably goes without saying, but all those folks that have come up and talked today, Dave's up there, those are our band officers, our band booster officers. Without them, we kind of fall apart. They keep us going, and without them, I don't know where we would be. And you parents, of course, you brought in snacks, you yelled at kids to wear good shoes, you made sure they drank water, I hope. I think most of them had breakfast most days. It was pretty good. We didn't lose a lot of kids, which is great. But you know what? We didn't have, and this is not a complaint, we didn't have one rehearsal where everybody was there. And that's a reality, right? People are busy. Last minute appointment, maybe they've got practice for, let's say, cross country. We got a lot of great runners in this crowd. And what's really neat is we all work together to get folks caught up on different things. We even got a kiddo, and I asked her permission to say this. Katie's one of our senior trumpets, who has her right hand in a cast. And those of you that know enough about trumpet know that's kind of important to use for your trumpet. So she relearned all her parts on her left hand and got a special device that kind of carries it. You're going to see her out there. Maybe you already did and wondered, what's going on there? It's just Katie being awesome. And that's what's really cool about these kids. They're resilient, and they go for it, and nothing holds them back. It's also important that I thank, and I wrote this down because I don't know about you guys, but no matter what, it's like an Oscars acceptance speech. You forget that one person in deep trouble. And my wife is on this list, so I gotta make sure I read it. Because then I'll be in trouble. Okay, but my staff, great. We've got a couple over here. We've got Tanya Kroll, one of my assistants. Thank you, Tanya. We've got Mr. Adam Kine, drumline. That was the drumline. We've got John McQuaid that keeps us rolling, literally. We've got Mr. Cameron Diedrich up in the crow's nest filming. We'll post that later. And I need to actually, just to publicly thank our football staff, because we have a great relationship. Coach Valentine and his assistants, we work together starting, I want to say back in like March, where we're communicating about, hey, when's the stadium available? When can we use the turf? We never try to compromise each other's time. They're an amazing group of people that love Ashland as a community. You know, they want the football team to do well, but if we're not doing well, they're not doing well. And just a quick shout out to them, because it's worth it. We have a great working relationship, and I know in other places it's not the same, but it is here. And speaking of that working relationship, we've got a couple admin here. I need to thank Mr. Packard, who's up there, and Mrs. Packard, because she's one of my biggest fans, depending on the time of day. Mr. Paramore, thanks for all the support. That's what makes this machine run. So, we're about to do a Disney show, and it's worth saying, here's what happened last time we did a Disney show. It was fall of 2019, right? And we did a Disney show. And then early March, the Disney shirts came out that I designed, and the back said, taking 200 people to Disney, what could go wrong? And then a week later, we weren't going to Disney. But this show's better. This show, now that Disney owns everything, there's a lot more stuff we can do for Disney. So you're going to hear a fanfare from It's a Small World. It'll sound just like the ride in Disney. Then that's going to morph into, from the Jungle Book, I Want to Be Like You. Then, because Disney owns Marvel, we can do that stuff too. And the Sweeties are going to dance to a really cool version of Spider-Man. If you're into Michael Bublé, look him up. He did a version of Spider-Man. This is his version. And then we're going to finish out with themes from Star Wars. And what's worth pointing out is this show is too hard for this band, period. And that's my fault. And I told them that day one, because I don't pick music based on what they can do today. I should pick music based on what they're capable of. And this show's too hard. I actually really didn't like any Star Wars arrangements, so I got several and took the hunks that I liked the best and put them together, and effectively just made the hardest Star Wars medley imaginable that no high school group should be pulling off. But they're pulling off this entire show, and we're going to debut this dude next Friday night at the football game. We hope to see you all back out there. We're the special halftime entertainment. And I think we're done talking. Take it away, Addie. Yeah. And if they pull that off in 2 weeks, imagine what this season has in store, right? All right, take it away, Alex. Go get some food. Go meet some boosters. Sign up for some stuff. Let's have a good time. Thank you all for coming.